Hey, what's happening gamers? It's K-Wing here, time for another retro video review. Today's game is the first import game I've ever done. At least I think it is. Back in the day, I owned a lot of import games. I ordered off this one gaming magazine. Can't really remember the name of it though. I remember the magazine had some really cool action figures exclusive to Japan that you could get, and some other stuff. I was such an otaku back then. Actually, I still am. Some things you just never grow out of, I guess. New Mobile Report Gundam Wing Endless Duel is a fighting game and one that has never been released in North America. Gundam Wing Endless Duel, not to be confused with Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, released in 1996 for the Super Famicom. Natsume, the developer behind Wild Guns and publisher of Harvest Moon, created this game, and Bandai actually published it. Gundam Wing is loosely based on the Gundam anime of the same name, but takes some free liberties with the characters. A key example of this is having Noin and Lady Un pilot the Mercurius and V8 instead of Hero and Trowa. Anyway, Endless Duel consists of 3 modes: Story Mode, Versus Mode, and Trial Mode. Story Mode lets you choose your Gundam and battle from Earth back into space. Versus Mode lets you and a friend go toe-to-toe, and Trial has you pitting your skills to the test against 99 opponents. Here your health only refills a little bit based on how well you fought and how much damage you avoided. My personal best is 40 wins, by the way. Gundam's gameplay looks a lot like Capcom's Street Fighter Alpha series. In fact, most of the special moves are executed like in Street Fighter, which wasn't uncommon back in the day considering how popular Street Fighter was around the world then. Like with Street Fighter, players also have 2 bars they need to be aware of at all times during the fight. Your health bar, which is green, and your energy bar, which is yellow. Using a hyper combo will drain your energy along with shooting and special moves. Refilling the meter is done by blocking strong attacks, or you can just wait until you win the match. Aside from just melee attacks and jumping, Endless Duel offers some other unique twists. One such move is the booster ability. This is done by tapping the A and X buttons at the same time. This will allow your mobile suit to hover in midair. This can also be used on the ground to move closer to your opponent and guard against incoming fire or flee your foe altogether, which is much faster than just stepping backward. Another handy ability is shooting your rival from a distance. When your character is far enough away, a targeting beacon will appear on your opponent. Press any of the punch buttons to use your Vulcan cannons to damage or stun your enemy from afar. Every Gundam but Epion can use this ability. Let me tell you, this edition can turn the tide of battle in your favor. Lastly, we have the super moves, but performing one of these moves drains your meter pretty fast. Although unlike most fighters, these moves can be blocked or even avoided altogether. Though if you can successfully damage the enemy using a super, your energy bar will fill very quickly. So, what could I possibly have wrong with this game? Actually, not that much, but let's start with the Versus mode. My only issue with this mode is it features no stage select. Whatever character the second player picks is where you will end up fighting, meaning stages are limited to just the mobile suits that are in the stage. When I was younger, that always seemed to bother me, and even to this day, that's pretty annoying. Next, I wish this game offered more mobile suits to play as. Instead of just the Gundams and some of the more popular characters, it would have been nice to play the Oz mobile suits. The other thing that I couldn't stand about this game was the game's difficulty in story mode. Unlike most US games, Japanese games will either make you a man or have you crying in the corner like a weepy-eyed little girl. For the most part, playing this game solo is like playing super hard on Street Fighter II Turbo. But the game actually doesn't get one mad until fighting Mercurius and the V8. Those suits have to be the cheapest and lamest suits in the entire game. Why? Because the computer just spams the crap out of you, blocks every single attack, and leads you into the corner where death awaits you. I just can't stand it when games do that to you. Up until this point, the game is really fun and a great fighter, so it's a shame that they had to do this, but I digress. Believe it or not, I really like this game and have a lot of good things to say about it. If Gundam Wing managed to release over in the States, it would have been one of the best looking fighters for a home console. Easily. Endless Duel really showcased what the Super Famicom could do in terms of 2D animations, sprites, backgrounds, etc, etc. Part of the reason this fighter felt so different than many others was the vertical scrolling screen that happens when you go up. I hadn't really noticed this a lot back in the day, but Gundam was one of the first fighting games to incorporate the vertical scrolling screen, which became a staple for Capcom's Versus series, by the way. As you can tell just by looking at this game, it looks almost identical to its anime counterpart. So graphically, this game looked amazing and paid a lot of tribute to the anime series of the same name. Luckily, Gundam Wing continues in its winning streak in the sound and music department as well. Most of the sound effects sound like they were ripped right from the anime, and that's a very good thing. Musically, it didn't really sound like it was from the show, but that's okay. Instead, it's all new compositions, minus the opening theme of Rhythm of Emotion by Take-Two. The game's entire score was done by this guy, whom for his day was the go-to guy for all Natsume's musical needs. I'm kinda jealous of the guy. He provided some great music for some of my favorite Super Nintendo games like Power Rangers and Wild Guns. My favorite songs in this game are Death Sigh, Heavy Arms, and Wings theme. While graphics and sound effects are considered the icing on the cake, the gameplay is what makes it taste great. Wait, I just rhymed, didn't I? Oh well, moving on. Besides the stuff I mentioned before, one of the aspects of combat that I liked a lot had to be blocking. I know, right? Not only can you restore your energy and then counterattack, but you could also block in the air, which was a rarity in most fighting games back then. Even though Darkstalkers was the first game to use it, Gundam would allow players to block enemies' throws too. Chaining combos wasn't really too difficult, but I never really got into learning all the different variations of them. Out of all the characters, my favorites to play as was Wing, Death Scythe, and Shenlong, because all three of them control just like playing Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter respectively, so you know, I had to love that. As far as hidden characters go, there is only one in this game, and it's Epion. In order to unlock Zek's second and most powerful suit, all you have to do is select Tallgeese, then press L, 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 R, 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 L, R, L, R, L, R, and L, R. If done right, Zex will flash, and then the next screen appears, you will see Epion ready to go. All in all, Gundam Wing is one of my favorite fighting games of all time, though I don't think it's worth what I paid to import the game back in the day, nor to modify one of my Super Nintendo systems. Had this anime been localized early instead of during the Toonami days, I think Bandai would have easily brought this game over, considering how popular Wing became a decade ago. At the end of the day, this is just a super fun game to play, and it holds a special place in my heart. So if you're a huge mecha and anime fan just like me, you can't go wrong playing this title. Well, thus wraps up another K-Wing video review. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Keep checking back for daily content on this channel, which varies from Nintendo news, reviews, and Let's Plays, and whatever else I feel like putting up. Just a quick reminder, I have a Facebook, Twitter, and album on iTunes if you want to check those out. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this, and if you're new to my stuff, please subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and until we meet again, gamers, God bless and happy gaming. Have a great weekend, and hope you enjoyed the video.